Hello, my name is Alec Beard. I am a Christian Studies major. So the leadership classes are a fun little kind of bonus cherry on the cake, so to speak, just in this major and all that I've been learning about the Bible and not only how to study the Bible, but how to take that and bring that into context of leadership has been pretty cool to learn so far. My desired position or career right now, I am currently serving as a junior high pastor in a church in a suburb of Houston, Texas. That's a pretty fun one. Wanted to be a youth pastor when I had left high school, and then just as I was exposed to different things in college and different opportunities out there, that kind of shifted. But have found myself in that position. But I would say long term, my most desired career or profession would be a marriage counselor. That is something that has been on my heart and something that I've been wanting to explore and learn more about just in the last couple of years. I think it's probably a little bit down the line, still working on getting married. I don't know many marriage counselors who are not married, so that seems to be a key component. But then also the further studies that will be required for that. But I would say that's my most desired career or position. My leadership style, I would say, falls into I'll use an acronym to describe it. I operate under an acronym called DID, which stands for Discover, Identify, and Develop. As a leader, whether that's coordinating different volunteers in my ministry or people who work with my students, something that I try to do in my leadership style is to discover things in people that I work with, discover their strengths, discover their weaknesses, but really to help them become aware of what it is that make them tick, and kind of the journey that they're on when they come into contact with me. Kind of rolling off that, identifying ways that I can help them, identifying things that might be serving as obstacles for their personal growth, or things about their character or personality that they might not realize are there, that I think if they'll just kind of tap into and discover, and we can identify those things, kind of put them up in front of us and know what we're working with, that would be the best next step. And then to develop those things, to take those things to discover what it is that makes this person who they are, identify areas they need to grow, and then create practical action steps to develop those areas. That is kind of my leadership style in a nutshell. Hey, how can I help you? How can I create a system, or what can I learn about you so that I know how to place you in the system where you're going to be most effective. Why am I taking this course? Well, it is required. That's part of it. But other than that, simply to try to grow as a leader. I am aware that I am not a perfect leader by any stretch of the means. I'm still pretty young in that regard, still have a lot to learn. And so for me taking this class, it's just something, kind of another area that I can be exposed to for my own growth. Again, discovering and identifying things in myself, and then developing those leadership characteristics and aspects. If I communicate well, I think I do. Some people might say differently, but I think for the most part I communicate well. I am an external processor, and so verbal communication is something that I do a lot of. My team, the team that I work on in my church, we kind of over communicate at times. But yeah, I would say I communicate well. I've learned to communicate well through communicating poorly in the past, whether that's feelings, thoughts, emotions, actions, whatnot, really learning how to take what I'm experiencing and what I'm feeling on the inside and communicate it in a real tangible way so that others can understand. As far as like leadership and details and things like that, I definitely have grown a lot in the last year in that, just in this ministry job that I'm in. I'm not naturally a detailed person, not very organized by nature, but I've taken some pretty significant steps forward just in learning to communicate expectations, roles, vision, and that sort. What issues have I seen in communication at my work? I think the most prominent issue I've seen in communication at my work is really just communicating expectations when it comes to small details. We plan a lot of events in our student ministry. We do a lot of leadership trainings and things like that, and so it can be potentially problematic when assumptions are made about who's doing what and who's taking care of X, Y, and Z. And so I've learned that sometimes people aren't as clear as they need to be on their expectations of roles and responsibilities, so that when that event or that thing that you're planning actually comes up, you reach a point where somebody's like, okay, who's doing this, and everyone's looking around. Nobody really knows because it wasn't communicated. That I think is the most prominent issue of communication in my work. From this course, I really just hope to learn more about myself and more about how to communicate well with others. I love uh, studying and learning about new principles. I like to have words to put to concepts, and so I'm eager to learn about new concepts and how people who have gone before me and are much wiser in the realm of leadership have learned from that, and how they've taken it and applied it into their own context of leadership, and hopefully be able to continue to fashion my own style of leadership, to grow in my style of leadership, and to experience new things, and maybe I'll find areas in my own leadership that need to be changed or abandoned. So really just looking to grow from this course. Yeah, thanks for your time.